Hey there, Cedar Valley. Welcome to the newest edition of the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Ian Goldsmith. Each episode, we look at arts and entertainment stories circulating around the Cedar Valley. In this edition, I visited the North Star Community Services Center as they are preparing for their upcoming special production of Peter Pan. We also preview what to look forward to in the upcoming College Hill Arts Festival. Now sit back and relax. It's time for Arts Overlook.
Art is thriving in the Cedar Valley. It's everywhere. But if you don't know where to look, you could miss it. This is your local arts perspective. This is the Arts Overlook.
First up on today's episode of Arts Overlook, I sat down with some members of the upcoming production of Peter Pan by North Star Community Services. Let's take a look.
North Star is a day facility for differently abled adults who can get together and they work on art projects and music projects. There's a variety of activities that they can do.
But it's a place that they can go and they can play and they can learn and spend time with their other peers.
We were looking for a show that would involve lots of people.
It's a production that allows the people with North Star to get up and get involved in the play. There's people like me, college students, and the people that are there also, who get to interact with us on stage and they get to sing, and it's really exciting for them because it's something they love to do.
Peter Pan is a nice idea. It works well for that because we have the Lost Boys, and we've got the Indians, and we have the pirates, and we have the family members and mermaids, and so all those give a lot of opportunity to a lot of people. And it's a bouncy musical type thing, and it's sort of a fantasy world. Fantasy world's always kind of fun to go to. I feel like there's a lot of imagination at North Star, and it helps.
I've been involved in every single one that they've done, so I think that's 4.
The first show we did was in 2008, and that was Alice in Wonderland. And then in 2009 we did Wizard of Oz, and that was the first time we got to use the Gallagher Bluedorn space, which was great. Then 2 years later we did Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and now 2 years after that it's Peter Pan. So this is the 4th one.
I didn't know what it was exactly, and Greg asked me to do it, and I was like, sure. And so he's like, this might be kind of different and kind of weird at first, and I was just like, okay, I kind of went with it and I loved it. That's why I came back every single year.
Well, most shows you rehearse for about a 6-week period. If it's a musical, sometimes an 8-week period. And generally you rehearse several hours each day, 5 times a week. But in this situation, I only have them for a short amount of time each day. So we generally rehearse for about an hour and a half each rehearsal time, which is much shorter than the usual, but we start much, much earlier. The difference is also that sometimes in traditional shows that the actors get a little kind of tired of their parts and doing the same thing over and over and over again. But what I found with folks at North Star is that they don't get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. They just get so excited about the chance to get up and do it, and it's very thrilling.
You never know what's going to happen. And with the North Star productions, you always know it's never going to be the same, and something always is going to happen.
And I had no idea exactly what to expect because I hadn't directed that demographic before, and I didn't know what folks were capable of doing. And the first time I had a rehearsal, and I realized, my goodness, it's going to be tricky to understand their lines, and they're going to have a hard time memorizing their lines. And so I had to, I had to start thinking outside my parameters a little bit and kind of figure out how to make this work. I take a couple of folks who are experienced actors in the area and bring them in for some of the lead roles. Sometimes we can use the clients at North Star. We came up with this concept of having kind of an assistant with them, or the shadow, I call them the shadows, and they'll be behind a lot of the characters and they move them around, and they'll sometimes whisper their lines to them, and that just gives the actor a lot of confidence to know where they have to go, and it doesn't get them as stressed out as they would having to memorize lines and things like that.
But then you just kind of go with it and you're like, this works. So it's pretty fun. I mean, every day it's just different.
I think what's exciting for the folks at North Star is that they get a chance to work with these folks from the outside that don't normally come in and work at North Star. And it's also exciting for these actors to get a chance to see what true passion on the stage is about. And the clients, they just really genuinely get very thrilled about the chance to get up and do something. The other thing I found is that sometimes in a traditional sense, if you don't give somebody the lead role, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get the lead role. In this, they're glad to play anything. This one guy last time played a pile of money and he was thrilled, playing a pile of money. We got people playing trees in this case. Some people just on stage, just for a real quick moment, but they're just thrilled. Their one moment on stage is just riveting. And from everything that I've read and understand is that once they do their show that night when they do their show at Gallagher Blue Dorn. And all the lights are up and all the costumes are up and all their friends are out there. And you get to see them when the show is over and their families and friends are surrounding them and they're just sitting there kind of like beaming in their costume. It really is an experience that would be akin to you or I being at, Broadway or something like that, just hitting the most pinnacle moment you can think of.
Every time we walk in there, I almost feel like I'm famous. Yesterday people were cheering, and then Greg walks in and then Greg gets cheers, and for me feeling that way, I feel like this is their life. They look forward to doing this every year and they get so excited, and it makes me feel so good because it's I'm doing something good for them, and we've created this friendship through that, and so it's really nice that I can see these guys on the streets now and go up to them and be like, hi, and then normally they'll call me by my character name, which is fine, but it's oh, I'm so excited, remember when we did Alice in Wonderland, and it's so neat.
Well, it makes me rethink a little bit about, what it is I'm doing, because a lot of times you're I gotta get the best possible show up, and it's gonna be all about the experience for the audience, but really this reminds me that it's really an experience for the audience and for the actors, and when it works out in a perfect symbiotic time, that it's something that both the audience and the actors are sharing this moment together, and it's never clearer than with the folks at North Star.
If I'm not a part of a North Star production every year, every other year, it's just I'm missing part of me.
The show is at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, June the 5th. Just that one show. And if folks want to come to our rehearsal that morning, we're going to do our final rehearsal at 10:30 on Wednesday, June 5th, and that's open to the public as well.
It's a free show, and then there's donations if you want to give, but it's just for anyone who wants to come.
It's going to be at the Gallagher Blue Dorn, which seats 1,600 people, so it's a huge, wonderful, big space. Last time we actually did get into the third balcony. I think we had about 1,200 people there.
A lot of people know the story of Peter Pan, but just be prepared for anything to happen at any point, and just kind of go with it, and people will really enjoy the show.
I'm hoping that the ultimate goal is that it's going to be a thrilling time for the audience as well as the actors, so come play with us.
If there's one thing I took away from attending the rehearsal, it's that the overwhelming joy that the members of North Star experience is nothing short of contagious. Again, if you want to catch the show, it's this Wednesday, June 5th at the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center. Up next on Arts Overlook, I sat down with Mary Sue Bartlett to learn more about the upcoming annual event, the College Hill Arts Festival.
The College Art Festival was started in 1979 by Hugh Pedersen, who had a vision of hosting an art festival on the Hill. I like to describe it as a museum in a park-like setting. We have wonderful, wonderful art from artists who come from around the United States. I think we have 16 states that are represented this year. We have 75 artists who will be exhibiting original artwork and sculpture, ceramics, photography, metalworks, glass. You can expect a variety of artwork, a variety of prices, something for everyone. We have some new artists this year. We have about 25 new artists who, because of the date change, we were able to attract some different artists, and we're looking forward to them coming to our community. And they offer things in a variety of price ranges for everyone, from the serious art collector down to the average person like me who is on a limited budget, but we can still afford some of the wonderful pieces that they do have. One of the things that we do offer, we ask our artists to donate original pieces to our Young Art Collectors Gallery, and only youth 14 and under can go in here, but they can choose to purchase wonderful artwork from these original pieces from these artists. Everything is priced $10 and under, but no adults can go in, just kids. So that's very popular, and it encourages the children to, it fosters art choices and independence. So we're excited about that. We have a wonderful lineup of performing artists. We have Carla Ruth, we have Wood and Wyatt, we have the Salsa Band on Saturday afternoon. They are always very, very popular. I myself don't get up and dance, but a lot of people do. And so anyway, we have wonderful performing arts as well, and that's all free. And I should also mention St. Stephen's is going to be hosting a pancake breakfast that Saturday morning from 7 to 10. And so this is the second year they're doing it. They're going to offer pancakes and sausage and cinnamon rolls and coffee and juice. So I would encourage everyone to go to St. Stephen's on Saturday morning. It is such a community involved and supported event. The College of Art Festival is unique in that we partner with the Cedar Falls residents, businesses, individuals, and I think that people really enjoy it. As I said, we're 75 artists, and so we're basically a smaller show, but artists get to know the public that comes, and they are able to talk to them and meet them, and they form lasting friendships of a sort. And artists in today's day, they miss that sometimes. They go to the large shows where they're just a number. They're in a parking lot, and they really enjoy our community. And in turn, our community benefits greatly from having the art festival here. Whether it's a child or couples or whatever age group you are, I think it really it adds to our community. New this year, though, we have changed the dates, and so the festival is being held this year, June 14 and 15, which is a Friday from 12 to 8, June 14th, and Saturday, June 15th, from 10 in the morning till 5 at night. We're located on the campus of the University of Northern Iowa, corner of College and 23rd Street. There is ample parking. Everything is free to park, to come in and view the artwork. We have lots of activities for children. We have wonderful performing arts on stage, so people can come at no cost and just walk around, see some wonderful art, hopefully purchase some wonderful art, and also just enjoy the afternoon and the music.
Don't miss this exciting annual event, Friday, June 14th and Saturday, June 15th on UNI's campus by College Hill. Well, that's all we have for you here on this edition of the Arts Overlook. I'm Ian Goldsmith. Until next week, thanks for watching.